The bite gets tough, fishing a young tube slow can't be beat.
Look at that tank. This thing is so freaking thick.
This thing is awesome. It's got grooves for your vertebrae to fit in. These knobs are pretty firm. For under 200 bucks, I don't think you can find a better reel than the Tatula SV. Windy as shit today. Taking the boat out. I don't want to take the stand-up paddleboard or kayak out and battle the wind very much. But I'm going to a lake that is known for big bass, big pike, so hopefully I can get a couple of tanks. I got some big baits, big glide baits with marabou double bucktail, and then just the usual chatterbait, crankbait, frog too, so see what I can do. Hopefully it's a pretty good day, overcast, wind, hopefully it riles those big pike and bass up, so stay tuned, we'll see what I can do. Thought you might get a kick out of this. This access really sucks. So I'm gonna have to fall over here, get a foot up on here. Nothing's stopping me from catching fish. Oh, there's a nice one. I think. Oh, big. What the hell is it doing? Maybe not. Maybe not very big, huh, buddy? Might be a little better fish. Oh yeah. Heh. Oh, you bastard. That's kind of what we're after, guys, right there. Nice northern. Where's my pliers? He's hooked good.
fish, guys. She is, oh, probably 33 inches. Let's get her back. She was hooked pretty good. She ready? And there she goes. All right. Great fish, guys. Oh boy. Caught a nice northern, I believe. And this is going to be a tough one to land. Where the hell are you going? Oh yeah. That's another gator. No. Damn it. There we go. Bass. Cannibal bastard. Pretty good size one. Kind of a sickly looking guy. So guys, I just want to touch on what I caught those fish on today. This is the Westin Bury the Bass. It's like a 5 or 5.5 inch glide bait. It's got 2 different line ties here. I believe this lower one is shallower running and this top one is deeper running. It's got some nice sharp treble hooks out of the box. 3 hard sections, and it also has a soft paddle tail here. And I think these fins are soft too. This thing is, I'm throwing it on a Tranx 200, Shimano Tranx 200. It's a nice, powerful, low-profile bait casting reel. It holds plenty of line, and I'm running 20-pound test fluorocarbon on here. So that line is fairly thick. You need a higher capacity bait caster for this. It's got a little bit of oversized knobs and a little bit oversized handle for extra power, but it's still small and still palms nicely. And then I got it on the 7'4" Bass X St Croix rod, fast action, heavy power. So this rod, despite being pretty heavy and thick, like almost like a pool cue, this thing is pretty sensitive. I can definitely feel when those northerns hit it. I can feel the bait stop. So this bait here doesn't have a real wide swimming action. The first section here pretty much comes in straight, and then these back two do the kicking. So it comes in fairly straight compared to some of these other glide baits I have. So I've also been throwing this year the TK Tackle Bluegill glide bait here, the River to Sea S-Waver, and the Savage Gear Shine Glider. All these are 2-section baits, and these things swim pretty much side to side when they come in, or more side to side than the Bury the Bass. They don't really come in side to side, but they do cut out more than that one because it's just having one joint. The 2 joints actually make it come in straighter with a little bit less side to side action, which both of them have their merits. These ones are a little bit easier to bring in really, really slow and then kind of twitch it and have it dance off to the side. This Bury the Bass here, when you give it a twitch, it basically just kind of dies a little bit and just kind of sits there. It doesn't have like a big darting to the side action, but great finish on this bait. It's a little baby bass, as you can see. And bass will definitely hit this thing. I caught mostly northerns on it so far, but I have caught a bass on it. So even though it is shaped like a baby bass, the bass will still eat it. So throwing these big baits is a lot of fun, guys. It's a little bit more work. Your forearms and your shoulders will get a little more tired than throwing your average size bass baits. And you need some strong gear to throw them on, but they usually catch big fish. And one more thing, I got a swivel on here. So I got 20-pound main line, and I put a swivel on here mostly for the fact that these baits kind of helicopter. So when you cast them, they'll catch wind and then they'll just start spinning like this, and that can put a lot of spin in your line, or a lot of twist in your line. So I got the swivel there to prevent that. And then I put a little bit heavier 30-pound test fluorocarbon from the swivel to the main line here, because that's just a little bit more resistant to the pike bite-offs than the 20-pound test. And fluorocarbon's pretty abrasion resistant. This 30-pound test is pretty thick stuff. It almost feels like a little guitar string or something. But it's still very not visible in the water like fluorocarbon is. It's stealthy. Fish can't really see it, but it is more resistant to bite-offs. And these big baits will catch you big pike, so you don't want to be losing baits. These baits are expensive too. And they're all like 16 to 20 bucks, which isn't crazy, but it's definitely more than a spinnerbait or something. So you don't want to be losing a bunch of these baits, and you don't want to be leaving northerns with 6 hooks in their mouth in the lake. So I really like that 30-pound test fluorocarbon. So in the next week or so, I'm getting another glide bait by 6 cents. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's roughly similar size to these other glide baits, and I want to do like an underwater footage, seeing the action of them all underwater, and then maybe going out and using each one for 20 minutes and kind of cycling through the baits and seeing which one catches the most fish if possible. So hopefully that video gets made in the next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.